Okay, hey guys, J-Man here with Steve and Sean. We are counting down to Halloween, which is tomorrow. Every Friday, we've been doing the best, worst, and most underrated of the certain horror franchises. We've done a bunch already. You can see those other videos. Okay, so we're doing Halloween. We probably need like 17 videos to cover Halloween, just because like there's so many to talk. There's so many to talk about. So let's just get right into it. We're just gonna count them all. We'll count part 3, whatever. We'll do the whole franchise, the Rob Zombies, this new thing. So let's go with underrated. And I don't know, we'll do quickly underrated and best worst, and then we might do a couple of like little extra points here and there. So Steve, underrated, what do you think?
Second Rob Zombie movie, Halloween 2.
Sure.
Halloween 2, yeah.
Whatever you call the second Rob Zombie movie. I was shocked when I saw and Jay, you were the one who first sort of discovered this and said, hey, this is a really good movie. And I was like, really? Because the first Rob Zombie movie was not good. So I was like, what happened? So I remember, I think you showed it to me and I was shocked. First of all, it felt like an actual Rob Zombie movie, which the first one did not. It was weird. Taylor Scout Compton, I think I said her name right, was horrible in the original, and she was really good in this one. So I don't know what happened, but like she played that sort of deranged. You could understand why she was like losing it, and she was like super, I don't know, believable in this one, which she wasn't in the first one. Brad Dourif as the sheriff was genius. That guy just carried the movie. When his daughter died, like you felt really bad for him, which you don't. I don't think there's any Halloween death that was that dramatic in any.
Yeah, really.
Howard Hessman is in it. Guilty pleasure. I love Howard Hessman, man. Like when he was the best character in WKRP. Other than Lonnie Anderson, who was the best for obvious reasons. If you're a straight man, you'll know why. She was my first celebrity crush. So love Howard Hessman. Like Margot Kidder's in it, like randomly. But it's just such a neat film. It's so weird and dreamlike and stuff. There's that I think there's a unicorn, like
which is weird
and stuff. It's weird, but it's acceptable weird. It's not just weird. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Oh, screw this movie. I think it was like an excellent follow-up to what was a pretty crappy first film. And I don't think anyone watched it. I don't blame them after seeing the first film because I didn't. But like, I think it was just really no one cares about it. No one mentions it anymore. But I think it was a really solid sequel and like super interesting, which is more than you can say for Rob Zombie Halloween Part 1.
Right. Sean?
Steve took mine, so but I'll add
Steve
to what
took
Steve
mine.
said. Yeah,
Steve took mine also.
I know, and the thing is, it's because there was so much hate for it. Rewatching all of these, I don't hate the Rob Zombie movies anymore. I think you have to watch the Halloween movies like Godzilla movies, and not like it's Halloween Tales, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like some are continuity, some are not. Some are one-offs, some are sequels to other things. You just gotta take it in stride. The first Rob Zombie movie is pretty decent. It's just him redoing the same stuff, but like in modern sort of like Rob Zombie vernacular. And the second one is totally Rob Zombie just doing his own thing. Right. It's like it's not like him remaking part 2. It's just basically him doing his own thing. You see you see Michael Myers' face, but he's a big grizzled like hillbilly, like Rob Zombie likes it, Yeah. Weird Al Yankovic's in it, and he lives. That's awesome. That's cool. You could tell he hated Dr. Loomis. Having rewatched parts 1 and 2, Loomis to me is a quack in those movies. He comes into his own in 4, and maybe Rob Zombie saw the same thing. And so like makes him just such an ass in part 2. I don't know. It's not a terrible movie. It's not sacrilege. And I think a lot of people saw it like that. And for that reason, it's underrated. It's really good.
Yeah, yeah, part two's Rob Zombie, part two is great. Rob Zombie makes two kinds of movies, really enjoyable, kind of cool movies, or utter garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't understand this fellow. I need to talk to him. Rob, like what is going on? Like it's like he makes like utter trash, and then he makes a really pretty fun kind of a movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean, I like that Lords of Salem, and I like Halloween too, and then it's like I hate 31 or whatever it was called. That was garbage. And then I don't know, the Three from Hell was kind of shit, but Devil's Rejects was great. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand this guy. It's so weird. But yeah. I mean, should we talk about Halloween 3 is underrated? Because Halloween 3 is a great horror Halloween movie. It has no Michael Myers, but it's a great film. I will fight people. I think it's like 5 stars. It's damn good.
I think Halloween 3, the reason why I avoided that is because it's the obvious one that everyone says, oh, it's so underrated. I think you're gonna fight me now because I think that Halloween 3 is cool. No one liked it before and everyone loves it now. I think it's a little overrated now. Like, listen, it's not perfect. Like, because now everyone's overcompensated. Like, oh, it's so great. Like, listen, I like the ideas of the movie more than I like the movie itself. I don't like the main characters. I don't know why we have to follow these two assholes around. And they're the least Halloween-like thing in all the Halloween movies. And what's great about the Mike Myers concept is that when he strikes at Halloween, you see a lot of Halloween in it. Like they feel more like Halloween movies than Halloween 3 does. Halloween 3 is centered around Halloween, like you have to make those sacrifices on Halloween. But it's like, you see more of people watching movie, like horror movie marathons and people getting ready for Halloween and shelling out candy in the other Halloween movies. And this one is these two, like, shacking up in a motel and like, and they're big adulterers and stuff. And, and the old guy gets the young girl. Like, I don't care about those two.
I like them. It's
I do too.
Man.
Yeah.
You can't go against him.
It takes place. I like the ideas of it. You could tell it's the guy. It's the guy who made Quatermass, right? That wrote the script.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's what's his Nigel Neal? Is that the guy?
I don't know the name.
He wrote it, and you could tell because it's so British weirdness.
Yeah,
it's
like
awesome.
it.
Yeah,
I like that. It's trying to be like Halloween is about sacrificing.
Like, let me knock it down a peg.
Yeah, so you're saying that it's people have, and I liked it when I first saw it. To be honest with you, when I saw it, but I did think like, where's Michael Myers? That's weird. But then I got into the movie. So you're saying that it was so hated that now it's become so loved that it's no longer underrated. It's now just loved anyways.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that it's no longer underrated because everyone seems to love it. I thought it was a great movie. I love the two main characters. I know Sean didn't, but I did. My only complaint about the movie is that at one point it says, oh, you can watch Halloween with Michael Myers on this channel. And I'm like, I would rather they just all be in the same world as opposed to saying 1 and 2 were movies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that though. Because that's a good point. In that movie, it's apocalyptic, like kids die. So how are you then going to continue that on with other Michael Myers movies? I'm okay with them being in a world where they watch the Halloween movies, right? I don't like
fictionalizing events that happened in previous movies. Like, I just don't like that. It's just my own thing. Like, it doesn't matter. It's basically saying, well, what you saw in 1 and 2 don't matter because they were just movies. And I don't like that.
Yeah. That's a good, I like that point, Steve. That's a good point. I think I agree with, I wasn't that tense about it, but now that you made that point, that's true because now you're saying, well, part 1 just a movie. No, I don't like that. Part 1 happened. Okay. What's the worst Halloween movie, Steve? Lots of contenders? I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be part 6, man. Part 6 is borderline unwatchable. And like, I remember when I got the set that I assume we all have.
Hold on. Wait, one sec, Steve. Okay. Sean, are you going to say part 6?
Yeah, with an honorable mention of
Okay, so, okay,
something.
let's do this. We all say
Okay.
it's part 6. Agree? We all say it's part 6, because then I want to have a follow-up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, part 6, worst one. Now,
Okay.
out of that, what's better, producer's cut, theatrical cut? Steve, what do you think?
Theatrical cut.
All right, but don't elaborate. Sean, what do you think, theatrical or producer? Producer's the
Is the better
circle.
one theatrical cut?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, theatrical cut. Yeah, I mean, way better. Okay. So do we want to continue on that, on this, like, or do you want to continue on this one, or should we pick another one that's kind of crappy that we haven't? Because everyone hates part
Let,
6.
let me say one thing
Well,
about
six,
part
six
six.
is just
Let me say one thing about
Yeah.
part 6. It's like Paul Rudd, or Paul Stephen Rudd, as he's known in the thing. Sucks. And that guy sucks in this movie. Like, I know he's America's
Yeah.
sweetheart, and yes, I like him in other things, but he's terrible in this film. And like, there's one scene where he's trying to get through a door to rescue the girl, and Michael Myers is slowly lumbering towards him, and he has this goofy expression on his face, like and then he slowly like tries to smash the door, and I don't know what he's going for there. If he's doing a like an old like an old Bowery Boys thing or something, or is he shocked? Like, why wouldn't he go faster? I think Paul Rudd just doesn't understand how to play horror, and like I think he shines in movies that show off how adorable he is, and that's what he did after that. I don't think he ever did horror after this, and there's a strong reason for that. He has no clue what to do in a horror movie. Anyway,
All right,
that's
so,
my thing.
so is the theatrical cut still the worst Halloween, Steve?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, because you sort of go past like, oh, I don't like this and I don't like that, and I have an honorable mention too. But like with part 6, it's just borderline. It makes no sense. Like, bringing back Tommy Doyle was a great thing, but he does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he does garbage. That whole thing with the ritual at the end and the druids and all that, that is horrible.
that's terrible.
And it's not explainable. Like, nothing is explained. You know how we bagged on part 6 for Nightmare last week? Well, I beg on part 6 for Halloween for the same thing. I think it was just not a good movie. Nothing makes sense, and you sort of walk out, especially after the build up from part 5 with the guy, the man and going around with the spurs and
Yeah.
that boots and that, going around doing weird stuff. And you're like, oh man, part 6 is going to be awesome because that's the payoff. No,
Yeah, it's
no,
awful.
it's terrible.
All right, Sean, I'm not, same with me. What's your honorable mention for?
Oh, Resurrection, man. But the reason why it's not the worst is because the first 15 minutes is awesome. The kills are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just the worst thing about it is Buster Rhymes. It's like, he learns kung fu from a kung fu movie, and when he does it, it's like curved leg technique. The Jason talking.
Nobody knows that except us.
Okay, yeah. No, when any martial art, like whenever you punch or kick, it's straight arm and straight leg. And if it's curved, that's because you don't know how to do that, right? It's like, you're not flexible enough yet. You're a big amateur, so curved leg technique, right?
Yeah.
So he does that. He punks off Michael Myers at one point. He even like pings him in the head, and Michael Myers takes it and walks away. Why? At the end he kills him, so that's stupid. It really should have been called Buster Rhymes versus Michael Myers because it builds up to that moment, right? Yeah, but the first part is awesome, and I like to they remembered one thing about Michael Myers is that he's not Jason Voorhees. I think some of the Halloween movies confuse the two. Like, people, like directors come on and don't understand that there's a difference. And then he's just a big lumbering killing machine, like Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is a different thing. He'll kill whoever gets in his way. Michael Myers thinks about things, like in part 2, he goes into, like, the real part 2. He goes into that old couple's house to get a knife. He doesn't kill them. He just needs a weapon. In part 7, he steals that mother's car. He doesn't kill the mother and the kid though. He just needs a car, right? And in this one, he does his killing and stuff. He kills Laurie Strode and everything. Spoilers. And then there's that guy who like loves serial killers,
Yeah.
and he goes to him and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's gonna kill him, and he gives him the knife. That's awesome, man. I don't know, like there's awesome parts in it, so it can't be the worst, but
No.
it's getting there. Yeah,
Except for the Buster Rhymes at the end part,
yeah,
Resurrection is awesome. It has, I like this idea of the POV
Mhm.
in the house. That's cool. And them using the actual footage that the actors were shooting is cool. I think Michael Myers looks pretty creepy in that one.
Mhm.
The beginning is awesome. When that serial killer crazy patient names off every killer and names their attributes and what they
Mhm.
did.
names the part 2 kills.
Yeah. And then he names all the kills of and then it's like with Michael Myers walking, he's like, Michael Myers killed 3 and whatever, killed 2 and what. You're like, oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I watched Resurrection again not so long ago and I was like, wow, this is a great movie. But the
Yeah.
Buster Rhymes part at the end is so awful that what's happened is that 5 minutes has somehow retroactively ruined everything you've watched. Because Sean, you and I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
And we walked out, we're like, oh my God, that was so awful. And I remember while watching it, we're like, yeah, that was fucking good. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. That was awesome. And then you're like, oh, why is this so garbage? Like part 6 is all garbage, but like Resurrection's a sad one.
Mhm.
Because if Buster Rhymes himself throughout the movie was a bit cheesy, but really at the end, having him fight Michael and saying, now Michael Myers he doesn't really kill Michael Myers and laughs and wins. Like that's a little bit like Michael Myers is not really dead. I don't like he's still going.
No, at the very end he comes alive again, but
Right.
he pretty much soundly defeats him, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, that section is garbage. Any other bad ones to talk about? Or I mean,
Halloween Rob Zombie Part 1. It's
Okay.
it's the only one of the set I couldn't watch the special features because, and it's funny when I watched it again, it's not the entire movie.
no.
It's the first half of the movie is nonsense, utter nonsense. Well, he was an abused kid and he had this white trash family. The whole thing about Michael Myers was the Don Pleasant Swine. He's simply and purely evil.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. That was the best explanation to why someone is doing something in any movie. And nope, Rob Zombie had to explain it. Well, he had this sad childhood.
Yeah.
Really? First of all, done a million times. Second of all, didn't need it. Third of all, not even well done. Like, I hate everything in that first part of that movie. Like, I hate everyone.
Yeah,
I just want everyone to die.
I think Rob Zombie, he was like, well, I have to do something different.
Mhm.
I want to tell the origin of Michael Myers. And I think Rob Zombie wanted us to cheer for Michael Myers. Like, I cheer for Michael Myers because he's just cool anyways. But I never hated characters in any of the Myers movies
Mhm.
until this sucker came along.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, fuck everyone. It's like Scarface, F the brothers, F the whatever, F them all. And I'm like, Michael Myers was like a superhero in this movie. I was just like, just kill all these pieces of trash. Even Scout Taylor, whatever, who I liked in part. The same actors are in part 2. and it's like, what happened? I think in part 2, Rob Zombie was like, let me just do my thing. It's
Mhm.
kind of weird, but at least we got to see Michael Myers on his off Halloween days. Like, he's just a bum walking around. I thought that was more interesting than showing his origin, because his origin was just tired. It's a tired origin. It's overplayed. It's not even done well anyway. It's a Criminal Minds episode. Who cares? But part 2 showed stuff that people don't like, which is Michael Myers without the mask. Yeah, but what does he do when he's not killing people? And then I like that when he does kill, he does put the mask on and then kill the people, and then he takes it off and he's a bum again. So that was kind of neat. But yeah, that was okay. So best Halloween movie. I like a lot of them, actually. I like a lot of them. Steve, what's your favorite Halloween movie?
Part 1.
Okay, Sean, is part 1 your favorite?
Favorite? No. It's one of the best. I'm
Okay,
not
so
gonna shit on one, yeah.
okay. So part one, Steve, do you have a backup to part one?
Part 5.
Okay, let's talk about part
Mhm.
5. Why part 5? Because everyone likes part 1. Why 5?
Uh, the Daniel Harris character, I think it was an interesting place to take her. I was sort of curious at how after part 4 ended, how part 5 would go. I think there's a lot of like great scenes in it, great kills. I also remember the scene in the barn with the pitchfork.
Oh yeah, that's the
Um,
best one.
That was the
yeah,
best
that's,
one.
that's awesome, man. Danielle Harris really comes into her own in this one. I like the fact she's mute. Like that's neat. That's new. Um, yeah, I just really like the feel of it a lot. I would have said part 4, but I can't stand the Michael Myers mask in part 4. It's too clean. It's horrible. It looks like it was factory built yesterday, factory created yesterday, man. It's horrible.
Yeah,
It's got to be a little beat up. Come on.
Halloween 4 is actually a great movie, but the
Yeah.
problem is that like Michael Myers mask and then that blonde hair in that one scene
Yeah.
is so barf. How did nobody not notice that? I watched the commentary. The director tries to. He's like, well, we go. The director's basically like, look, we just didn't notice, and I mean, that's a hyper fail.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean, everyone likes part 1. It's a great film.
Yeah.
Obviously, awesome. What's
Well,
what's the other one you like?
Best and favorite are two different things. Yeah, part 4 is my favorite. Here's
It's
the
good.
thing, man. It's like
Yeah.
parts 1, 2, and 3 came out in the late 70s, early 80s, far apart from the rest of the franchise.
Mhm.
And after 3, it was like people were like, I don't want to watch these anymore. So then they made like 4 and 5 were like 88 and 89. It's like year after year. And that was when home video was getting big. So like, yeah, those are the big rental ones. And like that, like 4 was 4 and 5 were the movies that like I watched over and over again on video with like friends and stuff and
Yeah.
sleepovers and all that stuff. So I'm always gonna have fond memories of those. I feel like 4 is the better one for me than 5. 5 has some weird moments in it, man. I don't understand those 2 cops. They have those slide whistles in the background whenever they go. What the hell are they going for? It's so stupid. Like, are they the big comedy duo of the year or something? Who are these guys that they have these big slide whistles like as their song? Like, I don't. It's so stupid. But and they don't understand how to. They're trying to write themselves out of the corner of part 4. Part 4, she kills like the aunt or something, or at
Yeah.
least stabs her. And then they don't know what to do about that. And then they imply it's a dream, but later on, Loomis is like, "Oh yeah, she stabbed," and like she stabbed this woman. It's like, okay, so how come she's around kids and stuff now? It's like, 5 is cool. I like 4 better. I probably just rose-colored glasses. It is cool though. And yes, the mask is clean, but like I don't care. I'll say this: the pitchfork stuff in part 5 is awesome. Like when he rakes it over that car and kills the guy. And then those 2 having sex and he like shish kebabs them and that's great. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite is part 2. 1 and 2 to me is almost like one movie. I like The Hospital a lot. I don't know why. I just thought it was wicked. There's that Visiting Hours movie with what's his name?
Michael
Ironside, which I like as well. I like hospital stuff. I don't know why. I like in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, where it's the hospital for the first like maybe 20 minutes and you thought it's going to be a remake of part 2 and then he switches it. So we got a little bit of a remake, but Halloween 1, 2, 3, and 4 is like, I don't have any complaints except for the mask. Not even the cleanliness, more so just the way it looks. It doesn't feel like Michael Myers for some reason. But Halloween 4 is a solid movie. Like it's a good movie. 1, 2, 3, 4, no problems. 5, pretty much no problems. I don't like Tina replacing that other girl because it's like, you have the actress. Why is Tina now so important to Jamie? I love Danielle Harris. I love her in everything. I love her in the Hatchet movies. I follow her on, whatever, Twitter and all that other bullshit. She's great. She's an ambassador for that series. She's an ambassador for horror. Rob Zombie bringing her back, awesome. He killed her in part 2, failed. That was bad Rob Zombie. But yeah, so that's kind of the series. Let's talk about, because we still got time, let's talk about the newest Halloween Part 11. So this one here, this is Halloween 11 is really Halloween 4, because Halloween 4 continued from Part 2, which may as well have just continued from Part 1, because Halloween 1 and 2 are the same thing. The only thing this movie changed was making Jamie Lee not related, which I do agree with. I don't like that she's the sister. I never liked that, because that leads into giving insight into Michael Myers' thinking, which I don't like. I like that he thinks, as Sean said, he's not like Jason. He's a thinker, but we don't know what he's thinking and why he's doing this. That mystery must always remain. So I'm very happy they brought that back. I love the mask and the look of Michael in this new one for sure. Best looking in a while. But this is really just Part 4. And this may have gotten a little bit overhyped, in my opinion. Like, everyone was really pumping this movie up. And we all saw this together with a couple of other friends as well. And everyone was like, yeah, this is so good. And I'm like, I've got to pause, because it feels like Part 4. I need to know why this one is better than Part 4, if you think it is. Do you guys think it's better than Part 4, or?
No.
Okay, well, there. So what are your thoughts on that whole thing about like everyone dying over this new one?
I think it's because they haven't seen a slasher movie in a long time, right? A real one, not some meta BS.
Right.
Listen, I think it's a cool movie. It's a lot of fun. But once again, it goes to Michael Myers being Jason Voorhees. He's just a lumbering killing machine. Like, he just, at one point, he's just walking into houses killing people. The thing that makes the Halloween movies great over the other slasher movies, I think I was telling you, Steve, a few weeks ago, it's like, and rewatching it again, suspense is the key to these movies, and they're the only slasher movies I know of, or slasher series I know of, that really keeps you in suspense and really ratchets that up, and really good at ratcheting tension up. I was watching Part 5 the other day, and so Danielle Harris goes into that laundry chute, and Michael Myers is trying to get her, and then I'm like, oh my god, like drop down. And like, I'm getting into it, and then she's down, and he goes down into the basement, gets her, and then she's climbing up, and he almost gets her foot. And I'm like, lift your foot up, and I'm lifting my foot up. That's Part 5. It's not even the best one. That's when the Halloween movies are at their best. It's suspense, and there isn't a lot in the latest in what is it, 2018 Halloween. It's just him walking around killing people, which is cool, but that's not really Halloween to me. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. I don't know.
No, I agree, because like, think of one of the best scenes from Part 1 is literally when Jamie Lee Curtis is running across the street trying to get into houses, and you have Michael Myers just walking across the street, and you go, Donna, bing, 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 like that was, and she's just running across the street, like nothing's happening. But you're like, oh my God, like you think Michael Myers is right on top of her, and he's not, obviously, because she manages to get to a few houses before she gets in, right? Like, and I agree that this one felt like a bunch of, typical horror setups connected in a row, like out in the street, out in the woods, out in, wherever. Oh, I like the scene where like the light kept going off, and when it was on, he's in a different place. Like, that was cool, but like, I agree, there's no suspense. It's just Michael Myers walking around murdering a bunch of people. And sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis as the damaged character, we got that in Part 7. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Now she's got a daughter, cool, but it's instead of a son, right? I like how the gender of her child keeps morphing. But like, there's nothing to it that I haven't seen before. So I can't get excited over it.
There's going to be 2 other ones. And there was going to be one that came out this year, of course, like the pandemic hit, called Halloween Kills. I guess they're taking on Machete Kills.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a 3rd one after that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they had in mind for the other movies, but yeah.
I
Even
also don't like Michael Myers getting damaged. He
Mm,
lost a few fingers.
mhm.
Okay, overall, I liked that movie
Yeah.
Michael Myers looked amazing. Um, and I like Jamie Lee, but I really don't like anyone else. You know,
Mhm.
the granddaughter's okay. The daughter I couldn't stand. This is a failed opportunity to bring back Jamie Danielle
Mhm.
Harris,
yeah,
and she's perfect in age. Throw Danielle Harris back in.
right. But
I mean,
this,
that would.
you know, this movie is only a sequel to part one, right? It ignores
I
everything
know,
else.
right? But
It's
I,
Halloween and
yes,
Halloween because they both
yeah,
have the same title.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
know. Yeah, no. I know that they ignore
yeah,
everything but part one. But that's what I'm saying. Who cares? Just bring the actress back. Like
yeah,
Rob
yeah,
Zombie brought her back, right? The thing about Rob Zombie is that he's a nerd at heart for horror.
yeah,
And this is why you get Margot Kidder, and it's like, what the hell is she doing in this?
yeah.
Like you get these random appearances. He's great for that. And
Mhm.
and the horror fans appreciate that, and he'll get love
Yeah.
for it. Bringing back Danielle Harris, it's like you're saying, it's like if I say Halloween sucks, I almost feel like I'm saying Jamie sucks, and I can't say that because she's
Right.
awesome.
No,
Right? So missed opportunity to bring her in. That would have leveled it up big time for the horror fans and for me personally because she's great. But yeah, the daughter that they had was like, the granddaughter was whatever. I feel that the daughter, like in movies where the mom is saying you should do this or that to the kid and the kid doesn't believe it, like let's say Terminator 2, where she keeps saying, oh, John, there's these machines from the future. And then he's like, oh, my mom was just a nutcase. I found out that she was crazy. Well, right. She didn't have any proof to back up what she was saying. Sarah Connor's just talking crap, right?
yeah,
In the eyes of John Connor, right? Who's growing up and not knowing. And then he grows up and they're like, yeah, your mom's like flake, right?
yeah,
Jamie Lee literally went through this. They have the dead bodies. They know Michael Myers is real. So wouldn't the
mhm.
daughter be more? I would think that they would have been more militant. Like, and I think that would have been better. Like instead of her just being a flake and be like, "Oh, mom, you're so crazy. I don't want to invite you to my party." It's like, well, let me tell you something, you dumbass. Your mom freaking kicked ass against Michael Myers. So why don't you smarten up a bit? Like that just pissed me right off. And it's like, I wanted Michael Myers to kill all of them, but that didn't happen. You
Yeah,
know, it's like I do like the one take where he goes and randomly kills the people.
yeah,
I do feel that there was suspense there, but the suspense slowly went. The suspense was just in when he was going to nail them, not the fact that he was going to nail them. And that's
yeah.
a different kind of suspense. The Jason suspense is you know he's going to kill this person. How is he going to do it and when?
Do it. Yeah,
Michael Myers is like, you're not sure if he's going to kill them because you don't know what he's thinking. And
yeah,
once you get the pattern of, well, he's just going to kill anyone, then you now know, and that's what Sean is saying, and Stephen, what you're saying, that's a different thing, right? That's a Jason thing. That's not a Michael Myers thing. So we'll see what happens in this next movie. Michael Myers looked cool. The kills were pretty good. I like the one take stuff. The lights going on and off. That was really cool. That's a Halloween. That's more of a Halloween thing, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I just felt that the characters were just a missed opportunities and also very generic. It's like, oh, she's
Yeah.
just flaky chick, and then the boyfriend and her like the granddaughter at the party or something. You're like, why don't you make the boyfriend a nice guy for once or
Mhm.
something? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Time like give it to, and then I know they try to do this big female empowerment, but guys, it's a fail. Michael Myers would wipe the floor with all these people. He'd wipe like Jamie Lee was the only one who trained to fight him, so I'm okay with her. These other people, forget it, right? And then they trap him in that house, which was so lame. You know that he's gonna survive that, and he does survive. And it's just like, well, what was the point of that? Like,
Yeah.
thing to
they
trap
know
him.
how to end it. Yeah,
Yeah, I felt like they're just like, well, maybe we'll just trap him and blow him up. Well, he blew up in a hospital.
Yeah.
So,
that didn't
I don't-
happen in this continuity.
didn't happen, that's right.
We know he blew up in a hospital, but yeah,
But this is what I'm saying. This new movie was very much pushed as a remember Toxic Avenger Part 4? In the beginning of Toxic Avenger Part 4,
Yeah.
Stan Lee's like, we made a great movie. Then we made 2 shitty sequels. He's like, forget about those. This is the real sequel. And basically, Halloween 11, they kept saying, remember that piece of trash Halloween 2 and that horrendous Halloween 4, 5, and 6? Well, F those movies up the ass. This is the real Part 2, baby. This is what, Steven, this is what you've been waiting for. Sean, this is what you're waiting for. And I'm like, well, this is just Part 4 with shitty characters.
Yeah.
Like,
7 did that as well.
Yeah,
7
7
said,
did.
4 and 5 don't exist. 4, 5, 6 don't exist. And then and then this now says, well, yeah, it's like Godzilla, man. It's like it doesn't matter anymore.
yeah, but this movie delivered Part 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It just delivered the same thing. Like Halloween H2O, we got 3 minutes. Halloween H2O didn't deliver the same thing as the previous Halloweens.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
the same movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Halloween 11 is very similar to 1 and 4,
Yeah.
right? Like basically. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad because 1 and 4 are great movies. Michael Myers walking around, looking cool, killing the people, that's always going to be a success. It's only the anomalies like a Part 6 where the story is so heavily impacted by like it just sucks.
off
Mhm.
the rails.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
it's not the concept anymore.
yeah, it's a disaster. That's just like a disaster movie.
Yeah.
It's like other than that, there's no real disastrous movies in this whole series. Like Rob Zombie explaining the origin is crap, but if you skip the first hour, you can kind of just watch the people get killed.
Yeah.
But it didn't fall off the rails, as Sean says. It's like, yeah, Part 6 was like, what is this movie? Like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we got a couple of minutes left. Wow, we got through a lot more than I thought. I thought we were just bitching about Part 6 the entire time. But so what? Any final thoughts on how? Well, Halloween Kills, man. I mean, we're seeing it obviously in the theater. So
Yeah, Michael Myers is the only one of these slasher horror heroes that has really lasted longer than
Yeah.
And he was never really the more popular one. It was always Jason and Freddy, but like now
Yeah.
he's overtaking the two of them, living on into the 21st century.
Well, I think it helps that he was like the first or one of the
first
first,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Like people forget about Black Christmas. Like that was
Yeah.
really the first slasher, probably. But like
you
Halloween,
could say Bay of
like,
Blood as well, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Halloween was the first like major critical commercial success, I'd have to guess.
And it brought in the boogeyman as
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
the whodunit, which was a big thing in the late 70s. So yeah.
Black Christmas is 10 out of 10, but the killer isn't like Michael Myers became like the iconic where you think like, yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Myers, like to me, that's the first one where you're like, this is a killer that looks cool. He looks interesting. There's something about him. The Black Christmas guy is awesome, but because we don't know anything about him, he's just kind of
Yeah.
there. All right, guys, we got less than a minute. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to do more of these best and worst of things. I want to continue this on with other franchises and other series. So we will continue this on, but let us know in the comments what you love about Halloween, what your favorites are. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. See ya.